I could still.
You know what? It was something that I did want to point out, and it might not be as big as it's not as widely known, but it's colorism in other races too. I know specifically some Mexicans that where they come from when babies are born, they want to know what color the ears are because, of course, the darker the ears, the darker the child is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to know what color the baby's ears or what the hair look like because it's a lot of Africans. There were a lot of Africans in Mexico.
Oh yeah, and
There's actually a special on YouTube called Black Granny in the Closet. It
mm,
was really interesting about the Afro Mexican culture that they don't really broadcast, but it's widely known there.
and I think it's the same thing is going on in South America as well. When you get a chance, Eb, do me a favor, send me the link to that because I can listen to that tomorrow. Um,
Okay.
just to hear, what the whole deal is. I kind of got a brush on it because we know slaves were dropped everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But see, a
Yeah.
lot of like Mexican people right now will identify as white. And I think that's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you, like say you go fill out a job application, they're going to have that on there. They're going to have all these different categories and shit. And so if you check white, it's my belief that you're more likely to be hired because like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I'm telling you.
So you got that
Look,
whole appeal.
I just worked the Fiesta Boricua Saturday and Sunday.
All right.
And they would they were filling out some information regarding, UIC. And the girl said, Mom, what race am I? And she looked at me. I looked down because I'm like, I ain't got shit to do with it. Because I knew what she was gonna say. Oh, I guess you put white.
Mm.
Bitch, you Puerto Rican.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not no white in there, but trust me, you're Puerto Rican. You know what I mean?
But it makes sense why they're doing that. Like, that's why it is, so that way they can get that opportunity, or at least it's perceived that they'll get that opportunity, more likely to get it if they check
But
white.
it's not just them. It was a group of Ethiopians or something that when they got here, somehow on their papers, they were listed as white. They look like me, they look like you, but on their paperwork, they were listed as white. That's how they were able to get loans and do stuff like that because, hey, they ain't black, they ain't a risk. You know what I mean?
Right. But they what I was thinking about, you know, um the Irish, for example, a lot of people don't know, but the Irish were referred to as niggas. This was like early,
yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? And it was a status thing. It wasn't like glued to a color. It was a status. You know what I'm saying? So they'll never admit that today.
All of those all of those races back. Well, okay, back then, but okay, when the white people they call their diaspora the what was that, the Ellis Island shit, right? So they all come through there and all the rest of that stuff. And they got those multiple times when they came over, but white wasn't a thing. That it was a made up term. So it was new to them. So what was white was you came from Britain. That's what was white. Everybody else. Eastern Europeans, I'm not gonna say they were treated as niggas because I do not want to paint that thing as being equal. They were treated as the less than second class society. Same thing with Irish, same thing with Polish, Italians, everything that's considered white today.
Italians did not become white until about 50 years ago.
Right.
Jews, everything that's considered white now was they were considered, the niggas of their day. Well, I guess whatever one step above nigga would be, that's what they were considered. And then which explains how all the rest of these groups and races, once they came over here, it is no different than like you see a bully in the classroom, the bully's already beating somebody up and you just walk to the classroom, it's your first day. Either I can go throw hands with this bully, or I can just say, well, I hate whoever he's bullying, I hate them too. Right. So everybody just glommed on to we hate niggas too. That's how Jews and everybody else, but Jews specifically, they left Hitler's Germany, took boats, came their ass straight here, and they eventually became the ones who were running the fucking minstrel shows. The fucking Jews. They just left a place where they was the niggas. and they came over here, and now they doing the minstrel show shit.
And guess what they own now? The music industry. So
They own some of everything. They got all the cards. If it ain't them, it's the fags. Or how?
well, be careful. Hold on, look, be careful.
Why they gotta
The
be
views,
fags?
the
Why they gotta
views
be
and
fags?
expressions of this show do not
Right.
constitute.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, my
Be
bad.
careful
Everybody
because
on the
you
panel.
don't want your recordings to be flagged for saying, trust me, there's algorithms that pick stuff up. So
Well, one, you get flagged for it, but two, like,
Yeah.
what's the okay? So I do. So I'm sure y'all see my post.
My
But
fault.
like, what's the like real problem with the gay people? That's this is the issue that I don't really understand. I understand if a guy isn't a homosexual. I understand if a woman isn't lesbian. I get that. I understand that. Cool.
Okay.
What I don't get is if another guy, if he chooses to suck on some penis, like that don't bother. He ain't trying to suck on my penis. So, and even if he is just telling, no, bro, I'm straight. Literally, I am straight and I'm straight.
This the problem. Personally, this is the problem I got with the whole movement that they got going right now. For one, not only are they pushing on the kids, but they holding all the fucking cards. So what I started noticing is a lot of black folks want to take part in those rights and privileges that they getting. So like you can't go up in the street and say something bad about somebody that's a part of that. See what I'm saying? Because then you're bashing or whatever. So it's a whole big thing. So it's a lot of motherfuckers that will go around like with the Jussie dude. That's why I think that shit got so much attention, because not only was he, an actor, but he was a part of that shit, so he say. Personally, I don't think he was, but he's supposedly been a part of the LGBT shit. So then now, it's like anytime you come out and you say anything remotely negative, them motherfuckers is coming at you. They're going to cancel your shit. They're going to shut your ass down. That's what I'm saying. They're holding all the fucking cards. And black folks...
But
Go ahead.
Okay,
it's
so,
not.
yeah,
But that's
I
not. You're holding that against them because of what?
I'm not.
though? Because
I mean, I'm not really holding it against them. I'm really
no,
more.
you're saying you don't like that shit. That's what you just said. You said the reason I don't like that shit is, and then you proceeded to say what you said. What I mean is like we get mad at shit like that, and we're mad at the wrong aspect of it. The thing about that is that they have strength in numbers, right?
yeah.
They ain't got numbers like
So
that. They ain't got
you
numbers
know
like
what?
that. They
No,
can't.
this
Who
is the
got
thing.
numbers like that, though?
Let me
They
tell you
have
something.
allies
It's
and
all
they got
about
people.
lobbying. It's all about lobbying. They got people that they willing to pay to go to these lawmakers, and the lawmakers get that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We ain't got no lobbyists like that.
And why not?
So it's a political thing. Why not? Because hey, we don't
have enough people to
That's
rally
one
behind the
thing.
same issue.
That's
we
bullshit.
don't vote locally.
Honey, we got the people. We just don't put the fucking money up to do it. These motherfuckers.
No, we don't.
Money
We
up.
don't. Nope.
It's got everything to do with money. It's got everything to do with a dollar. You look.
It
You gotta
has to
pay
do
to
with
play.
dollar,
That's
but
politics.
True, but it's two aspects. It's two aspects. It's more than just all I have to do, because one aspect is you need money, right? They've got money. We've got money in the Black community, right? We've got a whole bunch of athletes and stuff and things like that. Even if you don't, we could nickel and dime it. How I know that? Because Bernie Sanders, he did his whole presidential nickels and dimes. This motherfucker wasn't getting millions and billions of dollars from much college. It was a whole bunch of $20 and $50 and $75 shit like that. Okay. The other part is that you need people to get off their ass and stop thinking that all I got to do is send in $5. No, motherfucker, you need to send in $5 and you need to go volunteer at a thing. Not at no fucking walk around the goddamn street in a circle and sing kumbaya, but take your ass down to the fucking place that you need to actually that's going to actually affect some change. Not for this weekend, I want to be on Twitter showing everybody, hey, I'm walking around. No, do something that's going to make a difference.
You got a point.
I agree.
Yeah, good point.
Yep.
We got a little.
Now I'm going back to being silly. Don't make me think and use words I don't want to.
How that drink treat you, bro?
Real nice.
I see it. You see my shit almost. Yeah, Jack. Oh, my eyes red as the sky. But
My
look,
shit was
then.
empty 5 minutes in.
Oh shit, Dre, you ain't playing. You own it. But then
I gotta sleep tonight.
Look, all it took was a sip for me. I'm over here struggling, but I'm holding on yet.
I ain't mad at you. Shit, you already ate. Did you eat?
I didn't get the drink, y'all. I'm so sorry.
That's
But
cool.
I'm drinking water.
You know
Okay,
what?
well, it is
I
what it
ate,
is.
I
but
had
my
to take
thing
a break
is
from alcohol.
Okay.
it just me, or does anybody else don't like big ass chicken wings?
I
I
don't
hate
mind
used
them.
chicken wings. Nah, man, fuck that shit.
I mean,
Well,
First
these
of
were some
all-
big chicken wings, and
First
I
of
was a little
all,
bit,
them
you
shits
know.
cook tough as hell when you
What's
cook
it-
them.
on the grill?
They're like tough, even on the grill. Like them huge chicken wings, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're pumped with too much shit, man.
Word. Okay.
Like you get a nice medium chicken wing, and I'm not talking about no little chicken wing, because like J&J, them motherfuckers use the smallest chicken wing. Them shits
Them
are like
pigeons.
Cornish hens.
Them pigeon wings, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, your chicken wing, the bigger the chicken wings, the more horrible. I mean, they're pumped full of, fucking antibiotics and fucking water
Right.
and all that shit.
Right.
And but yeah, when you hit them bitches on the grill, man, they come off, they kind of chewy. Like they're not right.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was talking
Oh,
about that
this
shit
was
the other day,
something that
man.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was cleaning them fucking thighs, man, and they had this fucking
Like a
yeah, it was a fucking, what is it called?
A film or something.
That shit that like somebody made like an analogy to it, like that little skin part in the egg.
Yeah. No, that's
Not
the
no. So when you, if you pay attention, like when you crack the egg, right? There's a film around the actual boiled egg.
Yeah.
okay.
So it was like that. It was clear, but it was under the skin. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit on my goddamn chicken? And I'm like, man, I'm not even finna go off into that shit, because I did a study on KFC back in 2006.
Word.
That was really disheartening. Anyway, we're getting off of
That would be something to talk about, would be the food too. We ain't covered no food or nothing. That'd be definitely an educational episode.
Before we got cut off, I was gonna tell a story like what I was talking about with the colorism in like the Latin countries.
Go ahead, Al.
Y'all know MK Cleaners that's right down Madison?
Sounds good. Yeah.
I used to work there a long time ago. And it was this one Mexican guy, he used to just stare at me. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to stab his ass with a key or something, because I couldn't get why this man was looking. I ain't had no weapon but my keys, so I'm prepared. And then one day he came over, he said, I know you see me looking at you, and I apologize, but you look just like my grandmother. And I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm really gonna have to stab this nigga, because I look like his grandmother. And he was like, she's from Veracruz.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I had to go look up the Veracruz people, and I'm like, cousins, like seriously.
That's what's up.
So that leads back to what you said about the diaspora. But it was actually less slaves dropped off in the United States than it was in South America.
Ain't that some shit? But
why do you think Brazilians look the way they look?
They won't claim it. They won't claim it at all. Like they have this.
Why would you? If you see how black people are treated.
Brazilians, you gotta understand. Like Brazilians embrace the culture. Brazilians embrace that shit, right?
They do. Carnival.
Puerto Ricans are like torn, like really torn, because the culture of them is half African and then half Spaniard. So you got the white ones looking at the black ones like, nah, we was here first. Nah, we was here first. And it's like, whatever. Cubans go through the same shit. White Cubans hate black Cubans, right? So like the situation with Fidel, right? When you hear Cubans talk about Fidel in a negative manner, look at who's saying it, right? It's white Cuban. It's white Cuban. When you hear Cubans talk about him in a positive manner, black Cuban. Because Fidel Castro publicly loved black people.
Okay.
Like he literally publicly loved black people. The whole Asada Shakur situation, right?
Yep,
so when they put the ban, you know what I'm saying, on the trading of goods and the embargoes and shit on Cuba, his big fuck you to the States was like, all right, well, let everybody who's running from the law, especially the Black Panthers, literally said the Black Panthers, come to Cuba and you'll have asylum for life.
It's a motherfucker saying Pac in Cuba. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Who?
It's Pac.
Pac. That nigga did.
As in Tupac?
There was people saying no, because when you said aside of
wait. Do you mean that his body is in?
No,
they're saying he's alive and he's in Cuba.
So I ain't the only one that heard that. Like it makes mothers down there. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Mother
Nobody,
dead.
they say it just depends on, but you know, that's like the Elvis shit. People gonna be,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
for 90 years.
But
But
yeah, I
then
mean,
also look at the differences between how they treat Haitians and how they treat Dominican Republicans, and that's the same damn island.
I didn't know that.
That's because they still pissed that Haitians had the audacity to fucking fight and kick their ass. They still pissed off about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the
there was
situation with
a few
Haiti is
years
all
ago.
fucked up.
There
Period.
was some. They were trying to do some ethnic cleansing over there too. That's why I was like, I don't want to go to no damn Dominican Republic because let God forbid my passport get lost. They might try to racial cleanse my ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. But so going being around going a lot of different places, what I have noticed is that like fuck white and black. Fuck that. Like there is 100% a disparity between light and dark in places where there are no fucking white people. Like
Wow.
I guess what we would defend, right? Japan, right?
Japan.
Anywhere, for all of Asia and also they got the same issues. India, Middle East, Saudi, fuck all these places. They really have an issue with light versus dark. And now I'm starting to wonder, like, clearly, obviously, there's a Western component to what we're talking about, but this is the whole other side of the earth.
It's a colonial thing. You're right.
Yeah, but some of them have never been colonized. You know what I'm saying? Like India was, yeah, true. But not all of the Middle East was colonized. So I'm wondering how the hell did that
most recently is movies and music. You got to understand, like the movies that portrayed, like even the shit from silent films, right? Silent films was so racist, it was ridiculous, right? And you got to realize that some of these countries didn't have, because we got to remember, fucking Japan didn't become fucking like the wealthiest country around this motherfucker until like the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Going into the 70s. You know what I'm saying? That's when their technology started to advance farther than most of the world. But these movies were put out probably 20 to 30 years after they were made in the Americas, right?
Okay.
So the images of everything that was coming through on media was saying that black people were bad. Black people were beneath everybody. Black people were the maids. They were the butlers. They were the servants. They were the slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that idea,
Gandhi.
yeah, and even with a person like Gandhi, whatever I can't remember the exact word, but he called us kafirs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But how
Like,
do you think
he
that?
didn't like black people.
He
And
called
he was
us
just as dark as
animals.
us.
But
He
I'm
called
talking
us
about
animals.
take black people off the table, because my question is like more so like they're indigenous people, light and dark, like not black people, but
it's the imaging of dark skin, period.
Word, but
It's not even really about black people. It's just saying that, you know what I'm saying, that like the darkness is the bad. It's just, it's like the word black versus white in the fucking dictionary. You know what I'm saying?
right. Gotcha. Okay.
And the crazy thing is it was a big controversy in the Philippines where they had like the tourism that's really pale skinned Filipino woman. And a lot of the people in the Philippines were pissed because that's not what they look like. They are the Negritos. Have y'all ever seen those?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They Polynesians or they Asians or whatever. They got afros, big noses, and wide lips, just like us. That's what the majority of the Philippines look like, but they don't tell you that. They don't show you that.
Well, there's a big Filipino community here in Chicago, up towards the north side, and those like Asian brothers and sisters.
But see,
like,
you have. I ain't gonna cut you off, bro. But you have. I noticed that when I was in Hawaii, you have. Well, really all over the world, you have what we call invasive species, and then you have the locals. The locals are Samoans. Those are the native people to that land. They look just like us. They're dark skinned like us. They have kinky hair like us. But then you have your Asian population in there who claim to be Hawaiians. And see, there's a difference there. You see what I'm saying? So like the locals, it's a little bit of shit going on between those two. This was way back in like 2000. You know what I'm saying? Like you see all these you go down on the strip and shit, Waikiki, and you see all these Asian folks. But once you get into like what we would call the hoods, you don't see nothing but Samoans out there. You see what I'm saying? And
I used to live by a lady who she was Hawaiian, but she looked Asian. She looked Japanese.
she probably wasn't Hawaiian. She probably
She was
lived.
Hawaiian.
She was
No,
Hawaiian.
no, she was Hawaiian because
she was probably Hawaiian
Polynesian.
by birthright. But
Right. But as
race
far as
wise,
like,
she was probably Asian.
but
right, that's
her
what I'm saying.
kids, her daughters that were by a Hawaiian look like, and I'm sorry for saying this, Lilo from Lilo and Stitch. So, you know, it's just
Okay.
so
But you know,
you
it's just
know,
I guess if anybody Michelle ain't spoken in a while, I'd like to hear. Let me ask Michelle this question. You know, in lieu of what we talking about right now, why do you think it's so here in America, it's so put in the forefront with light-skinned Black folks and dark-skinned Black folks?
You know, I think that anything that's made to divide us is put in the forefront.
Right on.
Just like I hate seeing all these posts on Facebook, woman versus man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how you see them posts about women this and men this, and it's like I just think, you know what I'm saying? I think that I don't know, like we said, there's a lot of history behind, you know, the looks of things. Um, and even I had a job and where I was working, and when how can I say, there were different people that could be the receptionist, okay, or fill in for the receptionist. I noticed that they loved to keep me in that position. And really, this other girl brought it to my attention, like she confirmed it. She was like, Michelle, they always want you up front and not me. And she was darker and she was, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, when the clients are coming in and we're having meetings, this is what we want them to see. You see what I'm saying? If the white lady was on lunch, put Michelle up at front. So I don't
Was
know.
the Black girl as professional as you are and well kept?
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
wait a minute, why is that a question? But anyway.
No, yeah, I mean, because it's she ghetto.
Because it was her. I believe it was because of the looks, because it wasn't like as if she was just really, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't unprofessional or anything at all. I really don't know, Kennard. I don't know how to answer. I'm listening to you guys talk, and I was like just really learning a lot from you guys.
Fair enough.
Now listen, and I'm sorry I hate to keep cutting you off, but my brain worked that way. Jill Scott has a podcast. And it's with her and the wife from Kendra Soul and somebody else. But she was talking about a few years ago, I guess before it shut down, she toured Johnson and Johnson here, right?
Okay.
And she said when she walked around, everybody in there was light skinned. She said from the receptionist to, I mean, everybody that was in the forefront position was light skinned. And then she said, so she asked him, are there any darker colored people here? And he was like, yeah. Said that the lady pulled her aside and told her that he's lying. The only dark skinned people are the maids and the cooks. And this was a Black man that did this.
Wow. But it says a lot, though. It says a lot. Right. But see, it's just, it says a lot about that conditioning that some of us choose to perpetuate, even in positions to hire and fire, even in executive positions and things of that nature. But I would like to kind of go back on what Michelle was just saying. But I do believe it is a system of divide and conquer. You know, that's the last thing you need is for Black folks to get together and get off the petty shit and start, addressing real issues and unifying. So it just makes sense that to constantly perpetuate, this petty shit. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't gonna stop. I don't see no stop to it in my lifetime.
Think of it as a self-cleaning oven.
Yeah. I mean, well, we gotta want to be clean. You know what I mean? I mean, you gotta humble yourself to know that you know, that you can be clean and you can improve and all that. But if you don't, if you think everything you do is right and everything you say is right, then it's gonna continue forward. And you ain't gonna see, you know, you ain't gonna see the game that they run on everybody that we voluntarily play.
Move. I'm so sorry.
So you know, it's just a thought of mine, and you know, I like I said, I got caught up in it like everybody else when I was younger, more impressionable. You know, you felt like, one thing was good or whatever, one thing was not so good. And then you grow up and you start, seeing the world your way, the way you want to see it, and you make decisions based on that, regardless of what, people around you or what the TV or what rap records say. You start making your own decisions as a man, as an adult. And you start like, well, shit, you go from there. You know what I'm saying? But Dre, what you got to say, man? Like, you got something you want to say? You got something you want to say?
I'm just.
No. Go ahead.
I grew up, man. I was born in Rockwell Project.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Rockwell.
I didn't move on Capitol Hill until I was 11. But born in 78, raised in the 80s. This shit right here wasn't cool. No matter what you saw in music, I mean, we can be real about that. Like, light-skinned motherfuckers probably ran the music industry in the 80s because some of the biggest hits came from lighter artists, right?
True.
But again, that was a situation that was pushed. The attention was brought to because I mean, come on, the Jacksons were black with big noses, afros, and stuff like that. And then somebody came along, yeah, right. Somebody came along and brought the silvers. You know what I'm saying? And then they came along and brought the DeBarge family. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like they pushed that, but in the streets, this wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I knew, like, even at an early age, and it didn't have anything to do with light-skinned women per se. I just knew that it wasn't for me, right? Most light-skinned girls growing up didn't look my way anyway. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that was the whole opposites attract situation. But I only had 2 relationships, with light-skinned girls. One was just a kind of a fly-by-night relationship. And then the second one was my first marriage. And like, both situations ended horribly. But I'm not gonna say there was no attraction to light-skinned women. It was just they didn't really look my way. I didn't really look their way. We might be friends or whatever, and that was the end of that. But it wasn't like a stigma put in me saying like white light-skinned women were bad, anything like that. I've always dove into the jokes,
right?
Just because the shit's funny. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
I'm still laughing at that joke. I'm sorry.
But that's what it. But to me, that's what it is. Until
you, Johnny, with the jokes.
Until it isn't. You know what I'm saying? When the shit gets like overplayed and ridiculous, you got people arguing and fighting, and you can see like there's this hatred. I mean, if you got a person, I have somebody in my friends list that wakes up to do that every day. That's something crazy. Bad about light-skinned people, something bad about light-skinned people. And one day I just went and said, yo, bro, what light-skinned person beat your ass? What light-skinned girl broke your heart? What light-skinned person fired your stupid ass? Like, it's got to be something personal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you wake up every day to attack a whole nother side. You get what I'm saying?
That's up.
And it was like, man, it ain't nothing like I say. It's got to be like that. Like, you make a joke and then you move on, right? Because it gets to the point where you get 100 ha-has. Then next time you get 50 ha-has, 25 ha-has, and then you got none. And then now you got to find some other content. But this is all you know. So where's the negativity coming from? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the shit is just it's been
Redundant.
going on for so long, man,
Yeah.
that it's not gonna stop. We just gotta differentiate like the jokes from the disrespect.
You know, it's a thin line between the two. I mean, you know, it just depends on the person. You know, like what Ed was saying, you know, I think she was talking about D. You know, they have a certain type of, you know, bond to whereas they can do that if they choose to. Whereas, you know, say me and whoever, we may not have that type of bond, you know, to even go into that. I've never been really into those kind of jokes at all. I just think it's pointless personally, because I mean, we all black at the end of the day. But as far as like, you know, beauty wise, it's like really truthfully, even back then, I may have like fed into it a little bit, like, you know, you kind of pre-programmed or whatever. But when you really take a look, like, man, like it's some sisters that's like bad and really all colors, all shapes, all that, you know, and once you start boxing shit off, now you putting yourself in a box. Like I got a friend of mine that matter of fact, before me and my wife got married, we had all went out, and you know, we was trying to hook him up with one of her friends, and they talked blah blah blah. And at the end of that, he pulled my coattails and said, "You know, I don't like light skinned girls." I said, "Oh." Didn't make a difference how nice she was, how presentable she was, whatever. You got some people that's petty like that. You may have
That was
lost
one of
out.
the things. Yeah, I mean, you know, not to cut you off, but yeah, he probably missed his blessing.
Maybe.
Right? Because, and that was the thing, like, because I got picked on for who I, you know, saying what I look like. If I got, and I ain't gonna lie, I got my ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? When I turned 12 or 13, that's when I started taking up boxing at Columbus Park, because I had to literally started defending myself because I was getting my ass whooped over the way I looked, because they didn't know me.
Right.
They didn't know me. They didn't know my personality. They didn't know my attitude. They just saw this dude move on the block. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't running with everybody. So it was like, all right, well, let's pick on him. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, those that picked on me looked like Johnny Ugly Ass. No, but seriously, I mean, they were darker. But it taught me a lot of things, because like
Okay.
my wife makes fun of me now. She was like, I didn't see some of your exes, and I didn't see some of the girls you deal with. And I was like, but why is that though? Like, even no matter how you feel about them visually, right? Whether you think they're ugly or whether you think they're, you know, gorgeous or whatever, why do you think my spectrum is so different from each level? And it's because unfortunately, people aren't taught to get to know each other.
That's true.
Anymore. That's a big aspect of the whole situation.
Yep.
We miss out, like you
look,
said, we miss out on that because we don't get to know them, because we have been stigmatized with this visual aspect of a person. I mean, Michelle said it, like we're visual creatures, right? But that goes both ways. That's man and woman. You know what I'm saying? The first thing a woman do is gonna look at your shoes, and then she's gonna look at your goddamn teeth, right? Yep. You know what I'm saying? And then she's gonna look at everything else, but it's a visual aspect. You know what I'm saying? But we don't get to know people.
But you know what, you can kind of rechange your thinking about the whole situation. Now this is kind of personal, and I do apologize. But I was with my kid at this point in time. I was with him for about 10 years. My children's father. My son hadn't even turned a year yet, and he got up with he pretty much. I mean, it ended over him messing with a girl who was biracial. Okay, I could have lived past that, you know what I'm saying? But the thing that broke me down, and I mean, when I said I had a complex as grown as I was, because she was biracial. We got into it real bad one day, and he told me, you ain't got shit on her. She looked 10 times better than you. She light skinned, she got long hair, you know, blase, blase. And do you know, after that, I wouldn't look in the mirror for like 2 weeks. And I had to basically break myself. And I hate to say this, he treated her like shit too. So I was like, oh, so it wasn't her color. Okay, I'm cool. I know that sounds wrong, but it's just the shit. And
You know.
shut up, Johnny. Damn, shut up, Johnny.
As long as he fucking over too, I mean,
Well, yeah. So I mean, but you know what? And then I mean, in my way, it was consolation because it didn't matter what a woman looked like. He just an ain't shit person. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it didn't matter what he said to her. It was hurtful, and yeah, it did give me a complex. I grew my hair out long. I started using Ambien shit on my neck too now because I didn't want my neck black. But I had to realize, wait a minute, who the fuck am I? And it kind of brought me back down, and that's why I'm the way I am now, looking like MJG and shit.
Man, unfortunately, the pain comes from some of the people that we hold closest to our hearts.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I have an auntie who just passed away the beginning of last year, who hated me. She hated my sister, and it wasn't because we made her hate us. She was colorized. You know what I'm saying? Everything in her life, because she came, like, they were still picking cotton, even though they were getting paid. They were in the fields. You know what I'm saying? Like the remnants of slavery was still, traveling through them. So anything identified to the white. If y'all ever seen the Four Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Remember Bill Bellamy asking his mother, "What is a Chinese person?" She said, "A white person with slanted eyes." He said, "What about a Mexican? A white person who speak Espanol."
Mm-hmm.
Right. It was like everything she identified. If it wasn't black, it was white, right? And that's what my auntie was. And it took her daughter, my cousin, couldn't have children, so she adopted this Mexican and white girl.
Okay.
Right, this baby. She was Mexican and white. That girl is 2 shades lighter than me, and I'm light. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it took that to happen for her to change her attitude. It took that to change her attitude. You know what I'm saying? Towards me. Like you said, like, you can change that aspect. But unfortunately, like, I loved her. Like, even though I could feel the disdain, she still woke me up early in the morning. She still fed me. She still, you know what I'm saying, when I was visiting, she still, you know what I'm saying, washed me up as a little kid and stuff like that. But I knew the disdain was there. But it changed her attitude. Then when I started seeing her after that, it was all hugs and kisses and how's everything. And, so
2-minute warning, y'all.
It's just crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, this stuff, you know what I'm saying, with, like, even with Ebony's situation, there's an aspect of it. That's a whole different aspect. The man that she so-called loved belittled her because of the way she looked and told her that light skin was better, long hair was better. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So it's unfortunately it's usually I'm asking questions like, how do we change it?
It ain't gonna
happen.
But look, Dre, we got a minute 26. We're gonna go through these final thoughts real fast. Dre, what's your final thought?
My final thought is, man, like, I love everybody, period.
Yeah.
I've always shared my love for everybody. If you're close to me, if you're in my circle, you know what I'm saying? I love you. And that's all I can do. That's just how I am, and that's how I treat the situation. I love everybody. And hopefully that love for everybody spreads.
Okay, Johnny, what's your final thought?
I even love honey mustard colored people. It's very amazing. They're great people. I suppose, I don't know, fuck them. Yeah, it's all jokes. It's all fucking funny. I look at this no different than the way I look at Southside versus West Side jokes. Clearly, West Side is better, fuck the South Side, but I look at them exactly the same.
Okay, last minute. Michelle, what's your final thought?
People gonna judge you regardless. You just gotta be comfortable in your own skin and be tough about it.
Okay, fair enough. Ebony, what's your final thought?
Light skin or dark skin, our chains is still a shame. It's the same. Yours ain't no shinier than mine.
Right on. My final thought is, Black folks, get off the petty shit, get off that jealous hearted shit. We'll be all right. Tune in next week. We're gonna have a good topic for y'all. Peace.
Midgets.
Love.